What's going on, everybody? Today we are at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the Grand Prix track. So we've been here already this season for OTA event number 1. That was at their driver development track. Today we are at the GP track. So this is the big circuit. Was regarded as the fastest circuit in North America and probably still is by many accounts, the third fastest track in the world. This thing is a beast. And because of that, OTA runs a 2-day event here. So there's a mandatory school that first timers have to take. So you got to do the school, you got to do an in-car with an instructor. And then after you do that and you get the pass from the instructor, you are then able to compete on the following day, which is the Sunday, for the event. If you don't get the sign off from an instructor, you're not going to be able to compete. And there's a good reason for that, because this track is no joke. A little off can turn into big damage here. A lot of high speed corners here and elevation changes, which for the faint of heart or for the inexperienced could prove to be very costly if you're not cautious, and more importantly if you don't have the experience here, which is kind of what I really like about Ontario Tire and Tag, is that there's a huge emphasis on safety, but more importantly that everybody has a good time, and nobody's having a good time when you put a car into a wall, or if you have a mechanical or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, you want to leave the track with the same vehicle you came with. So kudos to them for putting on a well-organized, very safe event, and obviously putting on the school. This wouldn't be possible without the help of everyone involved with Ontario Time Attack, so big shout out to them. And they're all volunteers. Like, at the end of the day, like, they're not getting paid a salary to do this stuff. They're just passionate about the sport. I apologize for the wind noise. We are in my accommodations for the evening. Normally, I would usually do a hotel. This is about a 2-hour drive from my house, and I wasn't going to drive back and forth each day, so I figured, you know what? For the money it would cost me to rent a hotel room, why don't I buy a tent, all the gear, and just go old school? I'm probably a little too old for this, not gonna lie. And it's been a cold weekend start. People who've been here last night, came the Friday night to stay the Saturday, said that this is what they dealt with all night. Yeah, so as you can tell, a lot of wind. This is gonna make for a very eventful sleep, to say the least. Now, you probably see my GoPro back here. I intended to record on that. In typical GoPro fashion, the battery died. So I've got the booster pack plugged into it here to charge it up. And I had a GoPro fully charged before I left. But I believe from just sitting here, it's just been that cold. So in any event, I did sign up to do the school. Now, I have done school here before, back in 2018. And it's been a number of years since I've been here in a competitive way. And again, I've been here since then and been here for lapping. I've done a couple of track events here, but I figured, why not come back, do the school, have an instructor sit with me in the car, and I instruct myself. This is a testament to instructing. The moment you assume you know everything is the moment everything goes wrong. So it's never a bad thing to have someone else come into your vehicle with you, go for some laps with you, point out maybe some things, maybe bad habits that you've picked up over the years. Who knows? There's no shame in saying, hey, I want to optimize my line. I want to optimize my entry speed. I want to optimize my exit. I want to optimize my braking. So there's no shame in just getting someone who's either more experienced or someone who's had a lot more seat time here, say, hey, let's get in the car, let's do this, and help you out throughout that. So that's what we're doing today. Obviously, I'm signed off already to do whatever. I can, we're not even noon yet, and I can go out and lap on my own. It was just good to have someone else there, a little refresher, and huge thanks to Giuliano, who was my instructor, who I know well and compete against, and it's pretty quick here, so he was able to show me a couple of different things, which was great. Tell me where I can improve, which is exactly what I wanted. And we'll do some more lapping today to get seat time, ultimately as much seat time as possible, so I can get a feel, because this is the first time I brought the Miata here. New car here, setup that I'm still getting used to, and more seat time, the merrier. So in any event, hopefully I'll have some more footage soon, some in-car footage as well. We're just gonna do some lapping laps. Nothing serious. We're not setting PBs today. We're looking for the optimal line develop, where you could almost do it blind, really. So yeah, anyway, do it again and we'll have some fun. No pressure, no setting personal bests, just have some fun. And of course, this gives us an opportunity to kind of dial in the settings. Like, so far the car's been pretty good. Dampers are good, tires feel okay. So right now, dampers are sitting at about 12 clicks from full hard. And then the tires are sitting at about 29 PSI, give or take. The sun is coming out, so I expect time will probably get a little bit better. Alright guys, now that we've got some clear air and the traffic is clear ahead of us, let's see what sort of practice time we can put in. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this day is the school and open lapping day. So there's going to be several people out on track that are sitting with their instructors, getting an idea for the optimal line, turn in, apex, exits, and braking points, all of that good stuff. So they are mandated by their instructors to operate at about 60% of their comfortable pace. And of course, this is just going to be not only for the instructor safety, but also to ensure that the students are getting all of their lines, all of their reference points nailed. Because if you're moving at 100% pace, it's going to be really difficult, especially as a new novice driver at this track, to really understand where all of those reference points are when they're coming to you at pace, especially as quick as this track is. So we're coming up through 5A, B, and C right now, heading into 6 and then up the Andretti straight. You're going to see that my little Miata, albeit as fun as it is, it's not the most powerful car, and sub 200 horsepower is really, really humbling up this back straight. But we're having fun, and that's all that matters. So we're going to max out generally at the top of the peak here. I'm usually wondering if I should hop into 5th or not. I stay in 4th because I can carry so much speed in, but I'm really topping out on 4th. I've learned that I could take this corner so much faster, but again, I'm building into it. I'm building the speed into the lap, and coming through 9 here, downshifting to get into 10, because I really want to take this corner early. This corner exit is atrocious for catching people off guard, and you don't want to end up in the wall here. So coming down in through 1, another opportunity here for me. I really could carry so much more speed into this corner, and again, it's all about building the confidence as the day goes on. I do inevitably build more confidence into that corner. Turn 2, blind crest over here, then you're accelerating downhill. It's kind of counterintuitive, your brain is saying otherwise, but it's what you got to do to keep everything planted. So again, I feel like I optimized turn 2 by the end of the weekend and turn 3 here. I felt like I was really hitting my min speeds, and I really think that the turn 2, turn 3 combo I have nailed. Turn 4, after looking at some more data, I could really, really take this with a lot more speed. But again, it's a pretty intimidating corner going downhill. As we go up into the 5A, B, C complex here, I feel my line is pretty optimal. I'm not going to lie. I've watched a lot of other videos and I feel like I'm pretty much hitting the same line everybody else is. And then of course, we're back up to the straight again. Not much to achieve here other than hang on and enjoy the ride, because it's a long one in the Miata. Well, welcome back. So, Ontario Time Attack event number 2. We are at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the Grand Prix track, former F1 track. Fastest track in North America, 3rd fastest track in the world, based on average lap times. What makes this track very exciting is its undulations, changes in not just off-camber corners, but in elevation as well. So this track is really, really, really an exciting track. It's like driving a roller coaster. So yeah,
Yesterday was school. We did school, we did a lot of lapping just to get reacquainted with the car again. I wanted to get, well, reacquainted with the track rather. This is the first time this car's been at this track. Lots to take in, lots to learn. I'm very, very, very impressed with this car so far. It's incredible. It just keeps rewarding me with more and more grip. And yeah, so we'll see if we can continue this trend and kind of get decent lap time on the board. So far, my best time was a 146, I believe. I know there's tons on the table. I'm not nearly exploiting the limit of this car. We are going to send it in a confident manner. I'm not going to kill it. See if we can exploit the areas where I feel like I'm leaving time. And if I can claw back some of that time, my goal is to do a 143. If I can get into a 143, that would position me very competitive in my class, but more importantly, it would position me to be first up in the Mazda contingency program. There are 3 Mazdas here today. One is an RX-8 and 2 Miatas, mine being one of them. Currently I'm sitting top place for the contingency program, so I'd like to continue that if possible. So yeah, AC off because we need all the horsepowers we can.
All right, this is a great opportunity to explain how Ontario Time Attack Day runs. For those of you who are unfamiliar, allow me to run through what typically happens in an event day. Generally speaking, gates will open at 7:30 at the venue. 8 a.m. registration begins, along with tech inspection. 9 a.m. is when we'll have our drivers meeting, which will then be followed by our first practice session on the track. Typically speaking, there are 2 practice sessions in the morning. Generally, these practice sessions consist of 3 run groups at 20 minutes apiece. The practice sessions are a good opportunity to not only get reacquainted with the track, but to also familiarize yourself with your settings on your car, make any changes as needed to find the optimal time. In the practice sessions, you are allowed to bring a passenger and pass other vehicles when you get a point by in the appropriate zones. The second practice session, everything still applies as the morning one, except in this session, your times will actually count for the overall competition. This is something they have recently changed to allow those who reach their optimal time in the morning before the afternoon sun and the laziness of after lunch break set in. Some people will set a personal best in the morning. However, the competition in itself does run right after lunch. The competition time will basically be your lap time in the morning, will position you in a grid setup, generally with 6 or 7 other vehicles, with a 6 to 10 second time delay in between you and the other vehicles. This should allow for sufficient time between you and the vehicle in front of you and behind you to ensure that you have a free and open track to set your personal best time. In these sessions, you are not allowed to bring a passenger, and passing is not allowed. The afternoon sessions consist of 1 warm-up run, followed by 3 hot laps, and then a cool-down run. So this leaves you with a total of 5 runs altogether. They will run these sessions as often as they can in the afternoon, sometimes giving every competitor 3 or 4 attempts to hit their best time. Then 5 o'clock, we have award ceremony and final comments. And with that, I leave you with a couple of laps. Yes, they may not be blistering, but hey, a couple of consistent 147s in the bin ain't that bad. This weekend, I was able to achieve a 144.99. That's right, I subbed 145. Yay me! Unfortunately, that was on the school and practice day, so not only did that time not count towards competition, but conveniently enough, I didn't have the GoPro running that day because I was really just focused on getting laps in and practicing. However, I did have the solo running, and the solo did capture that time, so hey, that's all that matters to me, is I know that it was done. I do really hope to get back to this track when the conditions are more favorable. It was a cold and miserable weekend, and truth be told, by the end of this day, I was exhausted. I had little to no sleep because I slept in a tent in almost sub-zero conditions, and honestly, it was just gray and gloomy. Getting back to this track when it's nice and sunny, preferably when it's not 0 degrees out, will definitely bring me a better time. I'm confident in it. I know between myself and this car, there's easily a 142. Hey, maybe even a 141. I just need to build the confidence in order to get a little bit quicker. I've now looked at the data, I know where I need to improve, and I can't wait to get back and enjoy the laps.
do it now.
Sure, you can pull right in there.
Okay.
All right, something new and improved and implemented for Ontario Time Attack. Now, if any of you are familiar with competition events, you'll know that there are rules and car classification. Rules essentially outline the event, the procedures, protocol, policies, and the general guidelines that everyone needs to adhere to. This is for everyone, and it's not vehicle to vehicle. Now, your performance improvements to your vehicle, this is where classification falls into place. Every vehicle in Ontario Time Attack is given a base index. So what they do is they take your vehicle, power to weight ratio, they look at any OEM modifications or OEM improvements like a performance suspension or braking equipment or a limited slip differential, and then they classify the car with a base index. From there, every modification you make to the car earns you what's called a PIP, or performance index point. This then ultimately determines what class you'll end up in. In my case, I'm in GT2, otherwise known as GTB. In this class, I am competing with other modified 8.6 BRZs. So, with that in mind, in order to create fairness among the sport, they have now implemented a random inspection that is basically like Parc Fermé in a Formula One race. This is where officials will then look over your vehicle, confirm the performance improvements that you have claimed to have made to your vehicle by doing a thorough inspection to just ensure consistency and fairness amongst the group. So in this case, you can see them inspecting and looking over my car, just double checking that everything that I have claimed in terms of my performance improvements are in fact there, and that there isn't anything that has been added to the vehicle that I haven't claimed. Unlike other series in my area, this is what makes Ontario Time Attack a little more fair. It's a little difficult to cheat the rules here. That's not to say that it doesn't happen. However, with steps and measures like this in place, it's going to be a lot harder for people to get away with things. This, again, ensures that not only does everybody have a fair and even playing field, keeps the competition honest. And that's what we're all looking to achieve. Thanks, Judd. I appreciate you looking over my vehicle and being critical of my improvements. And thankfully, there was nothing to report. And with that, that is a wrap. Event 2 is done. It was a very successful event. Unfortunately, I didn't really get the time that I really wanted to get in this event today. It was looking hopeful in the morning, but as the afternoon sessions progressed, I don't know what it was. I was carrying more speed in all the corners I needed to into turn 2, built, so much confidence going into turn 1, lifting, no braking. Into turn 2, I increased my speed, turn 8. Basically, everywhere I was increasing my speed for my morning sessions, but for whatever reason, I couldn't best my time from the morning. So it is what it is. I figured, afternoon, the track would have evolved a little bit and got me in a little bit of a different window. I didn't change too much of my settings. My dampening settings were all the same from the morning. Basically on the Ohlins, I'm like 13 clicks from hard. So, they're pretty soft, which you kind of want here. You do want the suspension to be very compliant here. But tire pressures were sitting at about 28 PSI hot on the AO52s, which is typically where I run it at. So anyways, I'm baffled, but it is what it is. That's racing, unfortunately. You win some, you lose some. I'm not sure where I've placed yet. Last I looked, I think I was 6th, I believe, in my class. But the most important thing is I had fun, and we had no incidents, thank God. And the car mechanically is okay, and everything else is good, because this is a track where if it goes wrong in a bad way. And unfortunately, there have been some incidents this weekend, and my heart goes out to those guys, with this unfortunate circumstances, because I've been there before, and it's kind of a shitty situation to be in. But it's only metal, and they were all able to walk away from these situations, which is the most important thing. So anyways, with that, thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.